Welcome to Loot Shooter Weekly, Season 3, Episode 9. I titled tonight's stream Butterflies, because we're farming for the Monarch. But I think they actually mean, they mean more like the Queen.
Okay.
I think they mean more like the Queen, because it's a version of the Dictator. Gotcha. But I like butterflies.
I like butterflies.
Better.
Yeah, we'll go with butterflies. Yes, butterflies. I like it.
So I am gamertag Burt Reynolds, and with me tonight, as usual, is our co-host, Golden Voice of Gaming, Negan Killjoy. We may be joined later by our totally average gamer friend. That's how he wanted himself referred to. Just an average gamer, Ghostmaker, who we've been playing Borderlands with quite a bit. And so he may join us in a little bit. And tonight, we're going to talk about Borderlands 3 some more. Last week, Mayhem 10 had come out. We were just kind of getting a feel for it. So now a week's gone by. I'm going to check in and see what opinions we have about it. Before we do, though, as always, what are you drinking tonight, Negan?
That is a really good question, Bert. The drink I'm trying tonight is called Mighty Cascade Brute IPA. It is I don't know where the Mighty Cascade is at. I should probably figure that out. It's from Kennebunkport Brewing Company, so I think that's Oregon or something like that. Actually,
Maine?
It says Kennebunkport, Portland, Maine. Yep, South Burlington, Vermont, and Rochester, New York. But it's described as using Cascade hops, and this Brute IPA uses champagne yeast to create a crisp, dry IPA with a citrus backbone. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm hoping, as I've mentioned before, and as you have said before, I'm not really IPA guys ourselves. So we're trying something again, really different, like the champagne IPA. It's gonna be very different, I think. So we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good. Sounds delicious.
It's kind of what I have. So what's Bert drinking tonight?
I'm gonna stick with the IPA. I'm having another IPA. I'm drinking. This is from Distill Brewery in Normal, Illinois. Normal, Illinois.
So it's a normal beer.
A normal beer. Normal is like halfway down the state. It's where Illinois State University is. And it's Distill, Destihl Brewery. It's their Mango India Pale Ale, Amira.
Mango. Okay.
Which
you've had a mango one before. You tried one recently with mango and cinnamon or something like that, right?
I did, yeah. This doesn't have any cinnamon.
What's that? I would imagine the mango cinnamon is probably a rare breed.
This one says Amira, AMRA, so like Amara.
Oh, there you go.
You're kind of going with that, yeah. Sanskrit for mango intertwines the citrusy hop characters of a West Coast style IPA, West Coast style, with the fruitiness of juicy mangoes, resulting in an elaborate and psychedelic tapestry of flavors that were absolutely destined for each other in this beer. Cheers.
Nice. Cheers.
So
that's right.
Yeah. That's what I'll be drinking tonight. And it looks like we were just joined by Ghost.
We were. Hello, Ghost.
What's up, guys?
Nice timing.
So again, we were just describing Ghostmaker as the, I believe he asked to be referred to as the totally average gamer tonight, who will be joining us. He's going to give us the average person's opinion of this game. Are you loaded in, Ghost? Do you want us to shoot you an invite?
Go ahead and shoot the invite. Loading it.
Okay. And what are you drinking this evening, Ghostmaker?
Buffalo Trace.
That is not a beer. We'll call that out.
No, don't want anybody to make that mistake, running around looking for Buffalo Trace beer. That would be very disappointed.
That is a Kentucky bourbon whiskey.
A nice, smooth.
A very drinkable Kentucky bourbon whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, water is drinkable. This is sippable.
Sippable, yes.
Sippable, nice.
So,
I was actually we did a virtual happy hour for my office yesterday, and I was using Buffalo Trace as a base for whiskey sours.
Now, see, I feel like that's
So-
a crime against humanity. You can't
It
mix
is.
Buffalo
No.
Trace.
No,
Yeah.
no, you
No.
can. You actually look it up. There's actually a couple sites that talk about it's one of the best bourbons. It's really good by itself, but because it has a little citrusy flavor and stuff like that, it goes well in smashes and sours because you use
Well, there's
citrus
also
juice.
a bunch of sites that tell you how to make a bomb and kill yourself, but that doesn't.
Doesn't mean it's a wise idea.
Yeah, they were really good. I drink it
Well-
neat usually, so I occasionally mix it up. But no, it's
I was gonna say,
I'll be
I'm sure it
sacrilegious.
tastes really good in that because it is a
Does.
really good bourbon whiskey, but it does feel wrong to waste such a good bourbon whiskey as a mixer.
See, I'm
I
one of
will-
those people
Yeah.
that always puts the good liquor in my drinks. I don't put crappy liquor in my drinks.
If you put liquor in your drinks, it's.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
If you
Is that
want-
what it is?
If you want a Coke or a Dr. Pepper, drink a Coke or.
I am on the soda front. I am in agreement. I'm not a soda guy, so I don't drink any sodas. But if you are gonna put liquor in soda, you might as well just have the soda.
Oh yeah, no, I
Mhm.
agree. I don't do the soda and drinks and stuff like that. Mine are. Come on, guys. You've made fun of me before. I do the fancy drinks. The one's called shrubs. The one with the twigs and rocks in them. You remember?
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
don't
Continue
do
to
that.
make fun of you. I'm loaded in now.
Who is it that used to drink Jack and Coke? Somebody we used to game with drank.
Horchata does
lot.
quite a bit.
Yes, Horchata
Is that-
does.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you'll notice he dies a lot.
Right.
It's true.
Oh, I brought these guys
Did
down
you
here somehow.
make things mad down there? Oh,
Apparently.
come on, man.
Apparently. I don't think it's gonna be a problem for you to take care of them. There you go. Speaking of Mayhem 10 stuff, I took down my spider ants. These bastards. All right. So anyway, so what were we talking about, Bert? So we got the drinks. We got Buffalo Trace. We got a couple IPAs going.
Well, I think now that you triggered the entire map here and everything's trying to kill us, your spider ant's gonna get wrecked again. We were gonna discuss how we were feeling about Mayhem 10
Mm-hmm.
before we go do a little farming for the Monarch. So I'm actually interested to get your take, and I'm interested to get Ghost's take on Mayhem 10. I know we were all very comfortable with Mayhem 4. I think we were all enjoying that. Really, really enjoying it, really.
Yeah, we were, and the part of the reason we were enjoying it is one, it wasn't overwhelmingly difficult, and it didn't seem like originally going up to Mayhem 10 was making a huge difference with regards to Anointed back here, regards to what you were getting as far as drops. So I think that's one reason why I hung out on Mayhem 4 as long as I did. But they changed that recently, a couple different ways, which made the Mayhem 10 worth it now. So that's why I think we've been running around there more and more.
Yeah. So this week they fixed the loot problem in Mayhem 10 at least. The loot was previously not necessarily going to be that great.
Mhm.
In fact, you could even get non-Mayhem 10 loot on Mayhem 10, which, if I'm honest, seems kind of stupid. Man, we
Absolutely.
Hold still, Bert.
Pissed
Oh.
off everybody, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, what did I
wasn't
get
really
into here?
planning.
I
Negan
didn't
went
mean
and
to- it's-
triggered the whole stinking map here.
That's all right. We'll take care of him quickly. We got the broken gun for Mayhem 10 going.
The broken gun doesn't actually work very good on anointed
No, it
enemies.
doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, I'll pick you
Now
both
that I've
up.
just spent millions of dollars on dying.
Okay, $1 million on dying. Got 2 anointeds over here, 2 statues. We got just a nice little kickoff. So Mayhem 10, we like it. We moved on to it a little bit.
Yeah, mostly because now everything that drops in here is anointed.
Right.
So you see that there's anointments on all these guns. Now, I mean, most of the guns, I guess the other half of that, the part that's not great about it, is basically none of the original guns, with the exception of the Hellshock and maybe to a lesser extent the Krakatoa, are really even viable though in Mayhem 10. Basically, all that's viable in Mayhem 10 is the new guns.
Yep.
And that's really it. And even they're not all that viable. I'm dead again. Like, I mean, Mayhem 10 is
You didn't have to run out here.
very, 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 very spongy enemies. So there's really, I mean, one gun that's very Mayhem 10 viable against the tougher enemies in the game, and that's the Yellowcake, which is a COV launcher, and that's about it. I mean, nothing else is really going to get you through this all that well. So this is going to be a boss.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really foresee anything as totally overpowered, except perhaps the Yellowcake in some instances, not all instances.
Well, and even then, is it really overpowered? Because, I mean, it's killing the enemies here. I mean, I'm literally standing just unloading a Yellowcake into the guy, and he's still gonna put me down.
It's killing them, but it's not broken killing them.
Right.
And they're even midgets.
Right. Yep. And that, I mean, it does get the job done, but that's about
Sometimes
what you
really
can
well.
say about it.
I mean, some of it, there are times like Katagawa, last night when we were farming Katagawa. I mean, that was broken. That we took him out so fast the game had to stop and think about it before he actually.
I think we were just efficient.
On bosses, it wrecks. But on the mobs outside on Mayhem 10 with their, like, it's about the only thing that's viable, honestly. I mean,
well, the OPQ with the right rolls.
With the right rolls. Yeah. And I mean, when I say viable, I don't mean I can't kill stuff. I can kill stuff with the that's for you, Negan. That was 100% rack attack. Nighthawking.
Well, Nighthawking.
I can kill stuff with the KO Sin. I can kill things with the OPQ system. I can kill things with the no pew pew, but it takes a lot of ammo to do it. And if you get stuck in really big mobs and then you have a spawn come in of cartel enemies, it can get out of hand pretty quick. And so the Yellowcake is really, what keeps it from getting out of hand. I
was going to say, I know on Reddit a lot of people are talking that they need a bouncing pass for the OPQ or whatever, or for the Yellowcake or and the OPQ, but really I don't think they do. I think that maybe
they need a bouncing pass on the enemies.
Yes. That's what I was going to say.
It's not the guns.
Modify the anointments and stuff like that for the enemies and how many enemies are dropping the cartels. They did turn that down a little bit in one of the hot fixes. One of the last two, I thought. So that was kind of nice.
But I think the bigger problem is when you're dealing with these percentages, right? So on Mayhem 10, if you look at Mayhem 10 here, the enemies get 12,500% health, 12,500% shield, and 12,500% armor. And the weapons, the old weapons, when you look at their damage rolls today versus what they were when it was Mayhem 4, they're 136% more damage. So, like a gun like the Hyper Focus, which used to clean up in Mayhem 4, even with like the best anointment on it, does not make it a viable weapon in Mayhem 10. Not without building completely around it.
Right.
And even then, a no pew pew with no anointment or a bad anointment is a better gun. So some form of balancing pass is needed with the enemies.
Yes. I think we all will agree on that.
Yes, it's definitely not the guns, it's the enemies.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we're gonna have to, see a balancing pass at some point on it. And I guess we'll just kind of see. But
see what they do to us.
Yeah, we'll see what they do to us. I'm not counting on anything in particular, but I'm guessing they'll do something. If I were to guess, I think they'll have to make some sort of change, and I think the answer to that is to bring the enemies down a little bit, and to bring the old guns up. Maybe not by a percentage. Like maybe specific values would be better instead of percentages, because the problem with percentage is scaling gets off, and that's what we have now. Scaling is off, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm looking at you, Hellshock, when you say that.
Yeah. See, that got a specific number buff right now, a percent buff. And that's why it's still viable. That's one of the only other. That is another viable weapon. So we're gonna go kill. One of the other things that got added is, so you get all these cartel weapons. That would be the no pew pew, the grease trap, the OPQ system, and the yellow cake, and a couple shields, a firewall, and something else. Shields were added. All of those guns are good and viable. They also added several just new guns with the patch, the Kaisen or Kaosin or whatever it's called. They added the Backburner, the Iceberger, some other launcher. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. They added the DNA, which is an SMG. They added the Reflux, which is like a corrosive version of the Brainstormer. And they added a gun called the Monarch. And we're going to go farm for the Monarch. It comes from Killavolt. Oh, and they added the Sandhawk sniper rifle. We're going to go farm for the Monarch, which is an assault rifle, probably the best assault rifle in the game at the moment. It's a version of the Dictator that fires shotgun rounds, really fast rate of fire, like a Dictator. And it just shreds on Mayhem 10. So we're going to go farm this guy.
Nice. And before we get
bosses have...
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm in there.
What were you going to say? I was going to say, you started off.
Bosses have very low drop rates for these things. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Like, you might have to kill this guy 20 times before you see your first one, which makes it a good thing to do co-op, because that way maybe one of the three of you gets it and can share it.
We'll never tell.
Or could share it with the group,
Nah, we never do that. And the other, I was going to mention about farming, the other big thing right now is the planet-based farming.
Targeted loot
as well. The targeted loot that they're doing with the different planets, which I think Promethea is currently the one right now. And next one is Eden 6, but that's kind of the same thing where you can go in specific regions and specific area and go after specific types of weapons. So that's kind of nice also.
And
if you want
right
to farm,
now,
there'll be a lot of options.
We are on Promethea, so this is targeted loot. And the targeted loot in Electro City, which is where we're at to kill Killavolt, is SMGs. So there's a lot of SMGs dropping.
Binary pertinent Cutsman, Burt, for a phase slam.
Is it 300 phase slam?
No, it's 200 phase slam.
200 melee damage after phase slam?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So that brings up another topic. Nothing other than the weapons scaled. So your melee damage doesn't do any more damage than it ever did on Mayhem 0. So no punching builds are viable.
I think it's important, and I didn't know this, to note that not only the weapons that come from death drops scale, the ones that you get out of chests or toilets or whatever don't scale. Which
nope, they do not.
Yeah,
which they should fix. They should definitely look at fixing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Shocking 9-volt for Auto Bear.
That's his other dedicated drop.
Do you want that?
No, I'm good. I've got one with an Auto Bear annoying on it, or 125 splash damage annoying on it.
This one's mag size regeneration.
The mag regen, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to reset us, and for those of you who don't remember, to reset, I quit the game. I'll reload. I have to resend the invite, and we'll farm this guy again.
Hashtag
again,
farming life.
And again, until somebody gets a Monarch, which may not even happen on stream tonight. I mean, we're already 22 minutes into this. This could take hours to get a Monarch out of him. But I will say this. They need to raise the drop rates on the new guns. I think that's a mistake, having them be as rare as they are. I think they need a little buff. But that is totally vintage Borderlands farming, which I do like, especially considering how punishing the world is at the moment on Mayhem 10.
Yes.
It's nice to be able to come in and feel successful fighting bosses. So I like
that's
that.
what I was going to say. Yes, yeah. I mean, I would totally go with the drop rate being low as opposed to a nerf pass.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't need to nerf anything. It's just buff stuff or do the balancing pass, like they said. And we've touched on it before with regards to with all the new anointments and stuff like that they're doing. You start having this RNG wall that everybody's hitting. So when you're farming, you're up against this RNG wall, and you're have to climb over the wall, which is the same with other games that we will remain unnamed right now. But I think it's
Looking at you, Division 2.
maybe looking at that
Cough,
general
cough.
vicinity of DC, perhaps. So, but it is a little more fun in Borderlands just because there's a lot of options and stuff like that. I just think right now it's also fresh. They keep changing it up a little bit, so it's kind of a little more fresh. But
They
we
are
are
very
very same
among-
RNG.
Among the big three, which in my mind is the Borderlands, Division 2, and Destiny, I think this has the best. It's still doing things right
right.
as far as
Yep.
drops and whatever else you want.
And
No, but
if I recall
Not
correctly,
perfect, but right.
if I recall correctly, it took a little bit of taunting and tempting and stuff like that to even get Ghost to try Borderland 3. So he was a little resistant at first.
What it took was Burt gifting me the game to try Borderlands 3. It didn't take taunting or anything else. It took gifting.
giving you the game, getting in for free. Okay,
Yeah.
that'll do it. But
That-
you've been pleasant.
that would be true.
Yes, that's true. So, but you have been pleasantly surprised playing it.
Not
you
only
found
have I been
yourself-
pleasantly surprised, but my 14-year-old son has been not so much right now. He's doing some other games, but with this game, he finds it challenging and I use your term, pleasantly surprising.
Yes. Well, good. And that was a funny, not funny. That was a nice thing that once you got into it, free or not, that you did find yourself enjoying it.
Oh yes, very
What
much.
happened there?
Yeah, what's that? I'll get you horchata. Or I'm sorry, Negan.
Hey. I got myself over here.
I'm going after Burt.
No, I got my revive. The problem is this fight has a lot of ads that spawn
Yes.
in, and they're easy to overlook, and it gets a little confusing at times.
Shoot him in the feet.
Plus, if you're Yellowcake in it like crazy in here, it is a small arena. There's a lot of radiation that bounces back on you. I have noticed. And some people who shall remain nameless don't have a transformer to put on, so they might be dying to the shock floor. It's possible.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
okay.
It's theoretically
You know,
possible.
First, somebody calls me horchata, and then you're calling me out because I don't have a transform. I'm finally.
Ooh, a Monarch with an airborne anoint, which everybody needs.
Of course.
Well,
Two
I
of
am going to
those.
say this. I am going to say this to you, Ghost. That gun is so good that it doesn't matter what anointment's on it. It
Well, I'll
genuinely
pick it
doesn't.
up.
It doesn't matter. You'll find it to be very strong, whether it's got a good anointment or not.
And a growling reinforced bear trooper.
Which would be great, except for skills also don't scale to Mayhem 10. So
Right.
you're, again, things to think about. Like Negan's pet doesn't do anything other than tickle enemies, and neither does my Iron Bear. Can't even not viable in Mayhem 10 at all. Your grenades don't scale, which really nerfs.
Yes, it does.
Well, and it really nerfs my heal ability on my Iron Bear build because she heals from throwing grenades and dealing splash damage, but it's based on damage dealt. And so when your grenades don't deal any damage, they don't heal you for crap.
No, they don't.
No. Because, I mean, just something to think about, right? Like, I'm running a splash or a blastmaster build right now, and which basically reads something to the effect of splash damage up to 100%, like my comm builds up splash damage, ridiculous amount of splash damage. And I have a really good comm here. It's kind of funny, right? Because it does not... like, the Yellowcake will do, like, 30 million damage in a shot. Think about that, and my grenade doesn't even do 1,000. So that just gives you kind of a scale on which to measure how ineffective certain things are at the moment because they don't scale. And there's some new anointments on like shields, like return 200% of damage dealt as shock, or 200% of shield size as shock or something, or amp a shot by your shield amount or whatever. And you're talking about 20,000 damage, which is literally nothing in Mayhem 10.
Nothing.
It's nothing. And so they added these... No, I know. They add these...
That just annoys.
And they basically do nothing. And so they have to fix the scaling on some of this stuff. And even, I would argue, and this was kind of going to be my point earlier, is like, it's great that they've got this farming event going on, and it's cool to see all these guns dropping, but none of them are viable. So why are we farming them? You know what I mean? Like, why am I farming non-cartel, non-new gun SMGs in here? Like, I wouldn't come here to farm this because I can't use any of the guns. Like, if I get a god roll, I can't even use it. So what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
so
I think the point is they're probably going to make those viable in the near future.
We hope so. We hope so, right? And so I have been saving ones I get with good anointments on them. But we don't know that. We're not 100% sure of that. I think
the surety in that is because I have a good build and they're going to nerf it and make everything else viable.
I'm okay.
They keep making Mo's better and better, so Burt's builds just keep getting better and better. So
I think you won't be long before you see the Mo's build being the meta. Not now, but I think in the future, not too distant future.
Well, I think with the Yellowcake, Mo's build is the meta for the moment. I mean, nobody can use the Sandhawk or the Yellowcake better than she can, because both of those are splash damage weapons. So she gets a lot of bonus damage out of them. But I can hop in and out of my Iron Bear and have unlimited ammo for 5 seconds, which doesn't just translate into unlimited ammo. It translates into an unlimited fire rate. As fast as I can spam the trigger, I can fire shots.
Well, I think Zane is pretty good too.
Oh, Zane's definitely the best build overall, without a doubt.
Right.
But
which I have now.
And Amara is also, I would argue, a better build. But if at the moment the best gun in the game is the Yellowcake, then the best build in the game at the moment is Mo's, because she can use the Yellowcake the best. But it's basically a one-trick pony, right? I'm just gonna spam the Yellowcake with my unlimited Yellowcake ammo, which I might add, since it deals so much splash damage, just keeps returning additional Yellowcake ammo to me as I'm firing it. And, it makes it very strong. It's dependent on one gun, which of course is not very effective. And since we do, literally, I would say no, that they are going to nerf the Yellowcake at some point. Or
refuse to believe that.
We'll call it balance it. They'll balance it. I don't know that they'll nerf it, but they'll balance it somehow. It's a temporary thing that this build is as good as it is.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about how powerful and how the Yellowcake breaks Mayhem 10 and stuff like that. So there's definitely going to be some balancing run made up with it.
But it really doesn't break it, I don't think.
I was going to say...
I disagree with that.
I disagree with that statement. I've read it a lot as well. I disagree with it simply because, I mean, if I'm honest, I don't think it does. I just don't think it does. I got a Monarch with elemental critical hits. It's anointed for Gunner. I don't think it does, but I think Mayhem 10 is just broken, and it's equally as broken, so it helps you out. But I don't think it breaks Mayhem 10. I think Mayhem 10 is broken, and a gun like this is what's needed to get through it. I do not think, Negan, and you and I have discussed this, I do not think it is near as broken as the ion cannon was for that month that the ion cannon was the meta. This is in a way better spot than that. It's no guarantee you're going to wreck stuff with it, and it takes many shots to do so. It's not like I'm running in here and one-shotting a boss. All three of us are using Yellowcakes on him, and he's lasting a fair amount of time. We did maybe one hit Katagawa, but that is what it is.
Right. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think as far as when the ion cannon dropped, it was a little OP and stuff like that. I mean, people were taking out stuff pretty quickly with that, and it was a gimme. It was definitely a gimme second life. I mean, that's what a lot of people are talking about. Is you go down, fight for your life, you just aim the ion cannon at somebody. Yellowcake is not that bad. You are correct there, sir. I will give you that.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's bad. I mean, I think that at some point people would like to come in here and after you've grinded and done what you need to do, you want to be able to do that. If you're in your fight for your life, you want to be able to pull out a Yellowcake, and if you can hit something, be able to get your life back. I don't think it should be a struggle.
Right.
Yeah, it all goes into the power fantasy that you want out of
right.
games.
After you put your time in, you should be able to do that.
And therein is why I don't think it needs. If it needs a nerf at all, it does not need a significant one.
Correct.
It probably needs more of what I would call a balancing pass, which probably doesn't actually involve the damage. It might involve how quick it heats up. Since it's COV, it doesn't have a mag, so maybe it needs to heat up a little quicker, so you can't just spam shots out of it. But I don't think it needs nerf damage. I really don't. Where I think something like the ion cannon was broken is, if you remember, Negan, when we farmed those and we worked hard enough, we farmed long enough to get a bunch of the 2x variants, right?
Yep.
I mean, I could drop down on the hardest mayhem level into Grave Ward, and as I'm falling down the ramp to him, if I could get a critical hit in the eye on him, he was dead before I even hit the ground.
Yes.
I mean, that's
definitely OP. That's OP. That's required
that's OP, right?
if something like that. Absolutely.
And just as so you guys are talking about that, my son who lost a bet with me to create a Zane and Moe's character was trying to level me up with Grave Ward today, and had the Yellowcake with a 90% damage if you're or
300% damage if
300% damage if you're over 90% health. Went to Grave Ward to try to level me up and could not. I mean, it was not a one shot, and he's really good flak build, crit damage, totally bossing mode, and he could not just clear it. So I think we're in the right spot.
If you do get a 390 Sandhawk, from what I understand, that can be like a one mag on Grave Ward. But I haven't experienced that. I don't have a 390 Sandhawk, so I wouldn't know. But again, I would say there's no guarantee that this gun's going to get you the kills, right? I mean, it's not like this is not easy button. It just makes clearing this content possible.
Right.
But I don't think it makes it easy. It just makes it possible.
As fast as we're dropping Killavolt, it does make it a little easy. I think we're going to agree to disagree on that fact. We dropped Killavolt pretty quickly when we're all doing it, and I'm still not getting it's not giving me the gun I want, though. It's not giving me the Monarchs. Not even a transformer.
You're looking at dropping Killavolt, though. We're running basically meta weapons in a coordinated effort.
With really I mean, and I'll be honest, Negan. I mean, pretty spec'd builds. I don't know about you, but I mean, pretty spec'd out builds, right? Like I've got a artifact with mag size and radiation damage and a radiate chance. I've got a really good Blastmaster comm, a 390. Okay, I mean, we are.
Yeah, but
We're not
even with
average.
those, yeah, no, we're not average. I agree there. But even with those, we just talked about the lack of viability on some of the guns. So even with our optimized builds, there's still really only a few guns that work. I'm just saying, Yellowcake is relatively strong. I don't think it's as broken as ion cannon or ion cannons were. Yeah, I think everything like we talked about. There's a bunch of stuff that needs a little balancing pass on it. The enemies, maybe turn them down a little bit. Up to
And
grenades.
I was going to say, I think
so
what
you have
we
some
should
diversity.
what would be a good thing to do though would be, and I'll just, is everybody ready for the reset? I think
Yes.
Go for it.
Let's reset it. Let's do one
And a drink
run
reset.
and a drink reset. Let's do one run. This is how we'll end our stream tonight. Let's do one run. No yellow cakes.
Okay.
Sandhawks.
So
You use whatever
primarily
you want, man.
Yeah. On Killavolt,
Whatever
I've been
you
primarily
want.
using the OPQ. I haven't been using my Sandhawk. So it's only been the two of you using your Sandhawks primarily.
You mean our
Your Yellowcakes. Yes, your
Yellowcake.
Yellowcakes.
Yeah. I was going to say
Yellowcake,
I haven't
Sandhawk.
used my Sandhawk.
Yeah. So we'll see. So it'll be a good experiment. It'll be a good science to end the stream.
I
while we
think
wait-
I think what we'll see here is that game is very, very struggling without having, like, when you think, so I guess my point being this. So there's just no doubt some things need to change, whether that's enemy health or, whatever it is, something needs to change dramatically, because if you think about if we did not have the yellow cake, kind of what we're going to show here, how long would this farm take? And considering it, you might get a Monarch 1 in 20 runs. How long is it going to take to get one of the gun you want? And then you gotta get over the wall of what are the anointments you want.
Right. So you start talking YouTuber time is what you start talking about with regards to the anointments and getting the right gun, getting the gun to drop when it needs to drop, the right anointments. You start talking about full-time YouTuber stuff. So
Right.
and that's
So
not fun.
We'll give it a try. We'll give it a try and see what happens here, and and this is we're still gonna be using really solid meta guns, right? So it's not like we're not using good guns. But I think it'll demonstrate why, if you're gonna leave things the way you are with the enemy health, you have to leave a gun or two like the yellow kick in the game, and just balance everything else up, versus nerfing things down.
Yes.
Otherwise, no one's going to.
We've always talked about that. Yeah, we've always talked about that. We'd rather see them bring stuff up. We're not fans of the nerf. So
We're not.
Never.
Yeah,
I don't like
it
nerfs.
seems like a bad way to do it. All right, here we go. Da, 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 da. Even his shield lasted longer this time.
Well,
Come
we're
on,
not
guys.
even half. Yeah, I'm going all out on him. And that's Sandhawk, that's Monarch, and that's Chaosin on him.
Yeah, I'm even throwing grenades too.
Yeah, just to tickle him. Our beast is over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get your monkey in the game.
I thought we don't talk about where my monkey is.
Well, that's right. I forgot. You don't talk about monkeys.
That's right. I'm not supposed to play with my monkey in public. Remember, we've talked about this.
Right. Yes.
All right, so this whole thing has already taken longer to
Yep.
farm right now, and we're not even through a quarter of the shields.
Well, and that goes back to how I kind of ended the the last couple conversations real fast was it doesn't allow a lot of diversity, and it just took me out, bastards. Because everybody's looking for the Yellowcake, and everybody's going to be running the Yellowcake in all their builds. So the argument, if they want build diversity, you're not going to see it. People are going to be running the Yellowcake or the Sandhawk, just a couple guns, which we've covered quite extensively tonight. Hey, there's the shields finally down.
Yep.
Grenade to tickle him.
I think definitely if you're not going to run the Yellowcake OPQ, you've got to have here.
Yeah, the OPQ is definitely doing some work on my side. And the
Yes.
Hellshock with Incendiary is doing some work too.
About to go down. Got it.
Did you go down, or did we get?
Nope. No, I'm good.
All right.
All right, so there's what that looks like.
Yeah, that
So
took
the moral
about
of the story here
about
is if you
5,
don't
6
have
minutes.
if you don't have Burt Reynolds and Iron Bear or whatever he's running, you've got to have a meta gun, at least one.
Well, and even I'm running meta guns, right? Like I'm running Chaos
but
and
no Yellowcake.
Sandhawk. No Yellowcake.
We're all running that. But if you don't have Yellowcake, you got to have a meta gun or Burt Reynolds.
One or the other.
And so apparently the game was working with me on that time because I just got myself a Sandhawk. Or not a Sandhawk, a freaking Monarch.
I got a Monarch with Airborne again.
Mine was magazine size.
Nicely done, gentlemen. I mean,
Yes.
you'll still like your Monarch, no matter what the anointment is. Like I said.
Whoa, a Merv Widowmaker grenade.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Yeah.
one.
Weapon,
So with that said, we gotta finish out the beer section of our thing.
Yes, we do.
What was your what's your review of your whiskey there, Ghost? How do you feel about your whiskey?
my review is do not drink beer. Unless you wear a skirt, drink whiskey. But Kentucky bourbon whiskey on the Buffalo Trace is nice, smooth. Do not water it down with ice. Ice is made of water, and we all know what fish do in it. So let's not do that. So drink it neat. Drink it, sip it. Water is for drinking. Buffalo Trace is for sipping, and it's a great whiskey.
I have to agree with you on all fronts. I agree with you. How'd you feel about yours, Negan?
I'll drink it because I don't want to waste beer, but I'm not enjoying it. Not really. Yeah, it's very, very IPA. We've talked about it before. The whole pine needles, feel like I'm chewing a Christmas tree. It's a little lighter. It's a little more bubbly because it's champagne in there a little bit, or champagne yeast at least. But yeah,
you should never tell another man you're drinking that. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, and I will agree with most of what you said about the Buffalo Trace. That a lot of the ways to drink it. But I've got to give you a list. There's actually some really good whiskeys out there that you should try as well. Expand your horizons a little bit, Ghost.
I have probably tried most of them.
Okay.
Honestly.
I think it's pretty versed.
Yeah.
That's my perception.
Yes, but I'm open to I'm always open to trying new whiskeys, not stuff.
Yeah, we won't force you on beer. So what'd you think of your another juicy kind of IPA mango
Fruity hop
thing? Yeah.
5 out of 10. Tastes like all the other ones. Nothing special. It was
I
all
don't
right.
think mine makes it to 5. Mine maybe is around a 4. Yeah, it's just it's chewing a Christmas tree. That's not enjoyable.
That's terrible. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah. It will lead me into some water to cleanse my palate and then a Buffalo Trace neat. Ironically, I have one of those bottles sitting in my house as well.
Well, we're
So-
proud of you on the East Coast.
There you go. Good. That's all I want. That's all I want. I want the East Coast to be proud of me on occasion.
Well, on that note, I think we will call it an evening.
Yep. Got some
So-
farming done. Got some beer reviews going. Got some whiskey talk going.
Yep,
And yeah.
absolutely. All right.
And on that.
So with that, see ya.
See ya.